Don't bother. So absolutely there is no bondage. Whatever happens, you just accept it. It doesn't make a bit of difference. You are absolutely unaffected. So bandha and moksha, nor are you worried about your liberation. Oh my Lord, I have to get my liberation. I have not done anything. Shall I do this? Shall I do that? Can I do Ribhu Gita or shall I do Vishnu Sahasranama? Which is better? Well, I have been doing already 5 years of Vishnu Sahasranama. I am not getting anywhere near moksha. So let me change it. He is not bothered. Whatever comes he takes. That's all. Bandha moksha nairashi. Being indifferent, being desireless either towards the bondage or towards moksha. So he is in the middle. He has no anxiety nor neuroses. Then what happens? Nachinta muktaye mama. So naturally I am not bothered about mukti at all. What happens? Mukti comes to your door. Paramatma will find you. You are a lost lamb and the Christ comes and takes you in his land. You are a lost lamb. That's all. So, nachinta muktaye mama. I need not worry. When all that stage has been reached, mukti is automatic because you are already a mukta. You are already liberated. Only thing is because of the mind, we consider ourselves as limited, we consider ourselves as limited individuals, while we are not individuals. We are an integrated whole. We belong to the totality. So, nachinta muktaye mama. I do not have the least worry. Chinta. Chinta means worry. Muktaye for liberation. I am not bothered about liberation at all because it has to come. Now we come to the next. Antar vikalpa shunyasya bahisvachanda charinaha bhrantasyeva dachastastaha Adrishayeva jhanate. After telling so much about a Jivan Mukta, a man who is liberated, how he is only a sakshi, he is not bothered about sukha or dukkha, about happiness or misery. After telling all those things he said, with all these characteristics, you won't be able to recognize him to meet him in the street. If you happen to meet a Jivan Mukta in the street, however evolved you may be, normally you wouldn't be able to recognize him. Very often, many of those people who have reached the highest state of consciousness, either deliberately or spontaneously, they will sometimes behave like mad cats. You will think that really they are 100% mad. So there is very, very little difference between a siddha and a madman, and only somebody who has reached the same stage, he'll be able to recognize the kinship. He'll be able to recognize in him his greatness. Otherwise, we are likely to ignore him. We are likely to insult him, thinking that he is some useless fellow. It is very, very difficult to know a Jivan Mukta. Why? Antar vikalpa shunyasya. The characteristic, the real characteristic of Jivan Mukta, which form the main characteristic, the inherent characteristics, which can only be recognized internally and not from his external behavior, they are these. Inside, he has got absolutely no alternatives, no choice. He has got a choiceless perception. Antaha vikalpa shunyasya. Vikalpa means the choice or the alternatives. Shunyasya, the one who is bereft of all choices. So inwardly, he doesn't choose. Whatever that comes, he accepts. Let flowers fall, let thorns fall, let weapons fall, let him be pierced by weapons, let him be abused by people, let him be insulted, or let him be praised to the heavens. Nothing makes a dent. Antaha vikalpa shunyasya. Shunya means empty. Vikalpa means alternatives. He has absolutely no alternatives, no choices. He doesn't say this is favorable, this is unfavorable, this is good, this is bad. He exercises no judgment over things happening. So all events, all happenings, whatever they take place, he just accepts them as they are. It is not that he accepts them with any reluctance. Reluctance means a judgment. There is no question of reluctance, there is no question of being elated over it. Oh, it is good for me. No, neither. Whether it is good or bad, he adopts the same attitude of indifference to it. That is why Antar Vikalpa Shunyasya. He doesn't elect, I want this, I do not want this. So, inwardly he is absolutely empty. When can it take place? Only when all the vasanas go. All the likes and dislikes you have, that is the stopper which is preventing that immense, infinite happiness in you from coming out. If at all they come in droplets, in things which you like. You like rasgulla, which is a nice sweet. Rasgulla cannot give you any happiness by itself. However sweet it may be, it is a question of your own mental attitude. There are people who won't like to see the rasgulla even. They don't like them. And if one rasgulla is to constitute 1 unit of happiness, then you should be able to take 1,000 rasgullas at a time so that you can get 1,000 units of happiness. Do you get it? After the 10th or the 15th, you begin to vomit. So, antar vikalpa shunyasya. All these vasanas have to go. When all the vasanas go, or when all these latent impressions of the tendencies formed in the previous birth, every action leaves an impression. That impression is called some scar. It leaves a scar. It is called in Sanskrit as sanskar. And as a result, it induces you to repeat the same action. I have taken one rasgulla in previous birth. It makes me repeat it again and again. The 3rd day, the 4th day, the 8th day, this year, next year, even after 100 years. Oh, it's a long, long time I have taken. Let me have one more rasgulla. So it is these vasanas which make you repeat an action and it becomes a fresh action. These vasanas are advisors. So when you do fresh actions, you have to take bath, you have to take a body to reap the fruits of the good actions, the rewards for the good actions, as well as the punishment for the bad actions which we do. And thus the birth and rebirth, the chain is being forged. So, antar vikalpa shunyasya. It is almost like what we read yesterday, prakritya shunya chitto yaha. By nature whose mind is absolutely empty of all thoughts. When does that thought come? When you want to get something, when some desire is, if you have got no desires at all, either about the future or about the present, then what thoughts can you get? Every thought has got something to do with that. Either you want to think of your past glories. When I was a secretary in that ministry, I did this, I did that. So how many people, 30 years after they have retired, they remember the days when they wrote something, when the Viceroy told, oh, very good, this secretary has done wonderful work. After 30 years, we are basking on the past glories. Again, because you want, as there is nobody else to boost your ego, you want to boost it yourself. So, all these things are because of the vasana. If you had never bothered about them, if only you have done all your duties as this is a duty which has been designed for me by the program of the cosmic totality, then in that case, your ultimate boss was the Lord. So whatever you are doing, wherever you are doing the Lord's work. there cannot be a job dissatisfaction at any time. Whether you are a housewife, whether you are an officer in the government, or whether in the corporate sector, doesn't matter at all. Antar vikalpa shunyasya. When he has got no thought, then does it mean he cannot do any action at all? No, he does action. Our Bhagavan is in the state. And there are people like Seshadri Swami has voiced to the fact. He sat before Bhagavan when he was in the Vishishtha Guha for about an hour. And then he said, hey, how does it happen? In this 1 hour, not a single thought has crossed your mind. How do you manage it? He asked and laughed and went away. So, but that didn't mean that Bhagavan was not doing anything. He was acting, he was going for his walk, his skandashram, he was talking to people. That takes place spontaneously, according to the situation. And none of the actions of the Jivan is meant for himself. All the actions he does, except the minimum for maintaining the body, the food, etc. Otherwise, what all he does, it is all motivated by the welfare of a bigger community, of the world at large, and it is never for one's own benefit. That is why he says, Bahi Swachanda Charinaha. Then how do they act? They act Swachanda. Swachanda, many people interpret it as the one who moves at his own pleasure. It is absolutely wrong. See, many people think that Swachanda means as he likes he can do anything. He can do a sin, he can commit a murder, he can do anything he likes. No. Here the Swachanda has got a different meaning. Chanda means the melody, the meter of the poem inside. The melody. Swachanda means he follows the melody of the self. Neither he acts at his pleasure, nor does he act at another's pleasure. If you tell him, please do this, he will do it. Nor he will heed his own mind ordering him about. He goes just as the Lord dictates. He is the second fiddle to the Lord. He goes as the Paramatma dictates, as the Supreme Being dictates. That is called the melody. Swa means Atma. Swa means the self. Chanda means the melody. He follows the music of the inside. He follows the melody of the Atma. He does as the Lord dictates. So Chanda Charana, in other words, it is a spontaneous act which comes under the program of the totality. After all, the world is moving. Who caused the rains? Who caused the earthquakes? Who caused the floods? It is all in the program, the cosmic program of the totality. For some reason or other, it has already been programmed, and he is part of it. So he does it only everything as per his will. He has got no volition of his own. He doesn't exercise any will of his own. I shall do it. Because that will that I shall do it will come only if you had a desire. And the desire comes only if you had some past impressions for repeating an action. Here the vasanas have gone already. Antar vikalpa shunyasya. From inside all those things have been lost. So, Bahisvachanda Charinaha. But outwardly all his actions are motivated not by any motives of selfish interest, but dictated by the Supreme Being. As dictated spontaneously, as dictated by the cosmic totality, the one who does it, it is called Swachandacharya. Then, just as you and I, we have got a different mood in the morning. We get a different mood in the afternoon after meals. We perhaps get into a different mood in the evening. So our states, they vary. In the morning, I am half asleep. In the noon, I am fully awake. Then in the afternoon again, I doze for about an hour. At night, I am first in the dreaming state, and then. So the states go on alternating. What about the states of a Jivan Mukta? Yesterday we have already seen Nidrito Bodhitaiva. He is always in his full consciousness. He never loses his consciousness. He is unlike us. Even when he sleeps, he is almost as if he is awake. Nidrito Bodhitaiva. He is full of consciousness. So that will be the stage. But what happens? Externally, when he moves in a spontaneous manner, sometimes it will look that his states tally with that of a madman. Bhrantasyeva dasha. Bhranta means a deluded man, a madman. He is called a Bhranta. One who doesn't know what he is doing and why is he doing. He just does it. He is a Bhranta. The one who is moved by delusions of the mind, the illusions of the mind. So, Bhrantasyeva dashastasta. So, his various states from time to time, it will look as if he is mad. How can anybody understand? Tadrisha eva janati. There have been very many great saints. Outwardly, people label them as mad. There is a very great saint, the Pontiff of Sringeri, one of the four much established Shankaracharya. So near Mysore is Sringeri much, where there is one Shankaracharya. So in 1950s and earlier, there was one Chandrasekhara Bharati. He was a man of very high realization. Often enough he will be in Samadhi, he will never know what he is doing. One day he was doing the puja, Lalita Sahasranama, and normally it is supposed to take about 2 hours. And after about an hour, just one nama came, Nirlepayi Namaha, the one who is absolutely, who is not involved in anything, absolutely. So he went on telling, Om Nirlepayi Namaha, Om Nirlepayi Namaha, Om Nirlepayi Namaha. 3 hours over and he is still in Nirlepayi Namaha. And people are waiting for their meals. When is it to end and when is it to? So that will be the stage. And the people used to consider as mad. Sometimes he will disappear into a cave. See there is a river inside itself in the ashram. Beyond it is this much inside. And beyond it there are some caves. He will go inside a cave. He will never come out for 7 days, 8 days. No meat, no water. But no matter. He will be inside. He will be in a different land. The land of the Supreme Being. And naturally people didn't like it. The managers and other administrative people. Suddenly a minister will be coming. He'll be bringing a lot of paint. He'll be keeping it some gifts. He'll never bother. They'll be going on telling him this minister of person, that minister of person. You will not even look at him. He'll be seeing some old fellow in a corner. He'll call him, hey, come here. What do you come here for? Sir, my daughter's marriage is to be done. For her Mangala Sutra, I require at least some 5,000 rupees. Oh, come on, take this packet. The minister has kept you. Nobody knows how much he has kept in there. He'll say, come on, take it, go. You run away, otherwise these people will come after you. You run away. That's all. And these people put a case in the court saying that this pontiff is to be replaced. He has become mad. He is no longer fit to be the spiritual ruler, to be the Shankaracharya. And a single judge was appointed from Mysore. The judge had never seen him personally, but he had heard of him. He said, let me first see the person one day and judge for myself before I go into the details. So he borrowed a car from a friend of his, otherwise his own car might be recognized by people. He wanted to go incognito. So he took a car from one of his friends, and early morning, and he dressed himself just like a normal Brahmin like and all that with the kacha and then with the vibhuti and all this, so nobody will think that he's a judge. The moment he went and parked his car outside, VIPs can park their car inside. He said, no, I'll park it outside. The moment he parked outside, 4 people, the 4 disciples of the Sringeri Mutt, they came, they said, our pontiff is waiting for you. He said, no, you are mistaken. Oh, whom do you think I am? You are judge, such and such. Yesterday evening itself our pontiff called and told, this car will come, this bearing this number, and you will be getting down, and you will be wearing this panchakacha and vibhuti. So we are not wrong. So he has asked you to come along. The moment he went, he saw Shankaracharya. He just prostrated, held his feet and he began weeping. He said, I am a papi. I have dared to doubt you. He said, no. You are doing your duty. There is nothing wrong with you. You have done so far. You did rightly. And then he gave the prasad. He said, this is the case with the given holy. So, Bhrantasya vadashastasta, these people are considered practically becoming mad. Shirishar was a case. The contemporary of our Bhagavan, Sheshadri Swamigal, he was considered as mad by many people. He will go and sit with anybody and eat. And then somewhere he will go into a cloth shop, he will take some of the clothes and throw them into the mud, or he will tear them off and go away. But then those people knew, the moment he tears away some clothes, and that year their profit will become 10 times. They were aware of it. So everybody wanted that he should come and tear off some clothes, so that their profit will become 10 times. So he was such a Siddha Purusha. So, Bhrantasya vadashasta, they used to behave. See, when people offer him some fruits, he will simply throw it away and run. And somebody will be going with 2 bananas. He will go and take one and he will eat it and then throw the balance to a monkey. Who can understand such people? So, Bhrantasya iva dashaha. Their states used to be like that of a madman sometimes. Then who can understand? Who can understand a Buddha? Only the person who can become a Buddha. So only if he becomes exactly a Buddha, only a Buddha can understand a Buddha. Only a Krishna can understand a Krishna. But then, many of our Mahatmas or saints have been dubbed in the old days as mad. And Dr. Freud, who was one of the most famous founders of these psychological, analytical methods, he was talking about one Teresa, one Saint Teresa, not the current one, the earlier one, the Teresa of Avalon prayer. And you know, there is a custom, perhaps among the Catholics I think, when the ladies take the vows of continence and become nuns, they dress themselves like brides and they consider Christ as their bridegroom. Yes, it's not only there. Even in our Hinduism, many have conceived the Lord as the bridegroom, the Nayaka Nayaki Bhava. There have been many of the Vaishnavite saints always. They have written poems after poems, considering themselves as the beloved of the Lord. So the Lord is considered the bridegroom. But then Dr. Freud has analyzed, he says, these are all manifestations of the suppressed sexuality. How can they be? How can they ever understand a Meera? Well, she had not talked about Meera. If the case of Meera had been given, it would have given the same verdict perhaps. How can they understand a Meera? How can they understand a Teresa? That is there. So, it requires a person of the same cadre. See, there is a Jew, his daughter not only embraced Christianity against the wishes of her father, she became a nun. Her father was extremely put out. That lady went into a convent, she was a nun, and after a few years, 2-3 years, she died. So the Supreme Mother of that convent, she rang up this father, look here, your daughter has died. In what manner do you want us to dispose of the body of your daughter? What rites will have to be done? He asked a question. I understand you nuns always consider Christ as your bridegroom? Yes, we do. Then you ask my son-in-law, don't ask me. That is Christ. He was so much annoyed.
about it. He can't understand. He could understand that aspect of becoming the bridegroom. That is there. Recently I saw a thesis written by a girl. She is the daughter of one Mr. Padmanabhan, who is now currently the finance secretary in Pondicherry. She has written a beautiful thesis having Ananta Padmanabha of Trivandrum as the bridegroom. She has collected a lot of information in various places in different theses for her teaching. So, considering God as the bridegroom, this has been there, and perhaps the reverse too. You see, Krishna was always thinking of Radha. Thinking of her one day, he never knew he has become Radha. And he began to be disconsolate and began to call loudly, "Where is Radha? Where is Radha?" I mean, where is Krishna? He has become Radha. It is Krishna only. He is shouting, "Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? I can't live without Krishna." He has become one with him. Then only they can understand. So, Bhrantasyeva dashastastaha tadrisha eva janate. Tadrisha eva. Only those people who have become identical with those people whom we consider as mad, only they can recognize the Jivan Mukta in those people. Only they can recognize that yes, here is a great man, outwardly he doesn't look great. See, perhaps some of them try to hide themselves too, otherwise it will be very, very difficult for them to carry on outside. Bhrantasya eva dashastastaha tadrisha eva janati. Tadrisha eva. Only people who have become exactly like them, they can understand. Now, we come to the 15th chapter, Ashtavakra Uvacha. Yatha tathopadechena kritartha sattva buddhiman mahajivapapi dityasugu parastatra dimuhyati. These teachings of Ashtavakra, well, there are so many of us, we have all read. Will the effect be exactly identical with all? No. It could be a person who has casually heard half a sentence while pausing. It would have made such a big impression. He might have gone home, discarded his clothes, and he might have gone away to generally is possible. So, even a casual instruction is sufficient for certain people to put them on the spiritual path. It doesn't require profound instruction for days together sitting with the Guru. Not even a Guru. Somebody going, he just pronounces something, it just hits him. Suddenly he goes in a different plane of consciousness. This has happened. Yatha tatha upadeshena. Yatha tatha means a casual upadesha, a casual instruction. It was not even meant as an instruction, but it becomes an instruction for you. That is sufficient. For whom? Sattva buddhima, whose intellect is already prepared, whose antenna has been made fit for that frequency of this subtle way. Sattva buddhima, the man whose intellect is full of the characteristics of harmony, light, kindness, that is called the Sattva Guna. See, all of us, we are made of three components. Our body and mind is made of three components. Those three components are there together, but in various proportions. And that's why they're different. The three of them are, one is called Sattva Guna, the other one is called Raja Guna. Sattva Guna, as I said, that is the most desirable mode wherein we are always seeking light, we are in light, calmness, quietude, tranquility, harmony, and synthesis, and loving all, love and kindness towards all the beings. Well, these are all the characteristics of the Sattva. Rajoguna wants activity. I want to build a house, I want to build a temple, I want to have a charity house, I want to build a school. So he'll be always after this activity or that activity. Obviously when he is doing these activities, he will encounter a lot of obstacles, trials and tribulations, he gets angry. Then desire comes, anger comes, kama yesha, krodha yesha, rajoguna samudbhava. As told in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, when a man gets into the rajoguna, as byproducts you get all the other characteristics of anger, jealousy, envy, then lust, passion. All these things are all byproducts of this guna, rajoguna. So if a man's mind is full of rajoguna, his mind will be involved and going on thinking of these things. Oh, what am I going to do tomorrow? I have to build that hospital. I am not still getting the permission of the municipal corporation. I am not getting the cement. I have to get the quota. His mind will be only roaming around these things. When will he think of the Lord? How can any instruction go into his mind? So these instructions will not have any impact on him. Similarly, tamoguna. Tamoguna means the mode of darkness, ignorance, sloth, laziness, postponing things, whatever things to be done today, oh, there is time enough here, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, we will do it next week, man. What hurry is there? So the man would like to do things as far as possible, he'll go on postponing things. Or he'll be lazy, too lazy to do all these things. A lazy man, you can see them, even when they walk and all that, they'll be lacking in their luster. That is why in Sanskrit they are called alasa. Alasya, alasa. The man is called lazy. It's called alasa. Lasif to shine. Alasa means the one who doesn't shine. He will look dull. That is why he is called alasa. Alasya means where the shining is absent. The man looks dull. See, every word has got a beautiful meaning in Sanskrit. So, out of all these three gunas, when a man has got the maximum sattva guna, say 90%, 92% full of sattva guna, harmony, light, kindness, compassion, when all these things are preponderant, such a person, he is a dry stick. A dry stick catches fire, the moment you strike a match and put it, it need not even go very near, it catches the fire. Be like a dry stick. That can happen only when your mind is full of sattva guna. Because that is the guna which will be able to absorb